You are walking to your car at night. The parking lot is empty. Nothing is wrong. And yet your heart is pounding. Your eyes are scanning shadows you would normally ignore. Your hand is already gripping your keys like a weapon. Nothing is hunting you. But your brain does not believe that. Why does this happen? Why does a quiet parking lot feel like danger? The answer is far stranger than you think. Your brain was not built for parking lots. It was built for something else entirely, something that vanished 10,000 years ago, something that never actually left. For most of human history, you were not the top of the food chain. You were prey. Leopards stalked your ancestors from trees. Hyenas circled their camps at night. Snakes hid in tall grass, silent and patient. This was not rare. This was daily life for nearly 2 million years. And your brain remembers every second of it. Here is the strange part. Evolution does not build a brain for the world you live in now. It builds a brain for the world your ancestors survived. And that world was soaked in danger you could not always see coming. So your brain developed a simple rule. Assume the shadow is a predator. Assume the sound is a threat. Being wrong costs you nothing. Being wrong the other way costs you your life. This is called the smoke detector principle, and it explains almost everything about modern anxiety. A smoke detector that only goes off during real fires seems efficient, but it is actually dangerous because one missed fire could kill you. So a good smoke detector goes off constantly. Burnt toast, steam from a shower, a candle. It is annoying, but it is safe. Your brain works the same way. It would rather sound the alarm 1,000 times for nothing than miss the one time something is actually stalking you. The researcher Randolph Nesse, one of the founders of evolutionary psychiatry, described this exact trade-off decades ago. Anxiety is not a malfunction. It is a defense system doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is not that your brain overreacts. The problem is that the modern world no longer matches the threats it was built for. You inherited a warning system tuned to a planet full of teeth and claws, and then you moved into a world of email and elevators. Think about what actually triggers your fear response today. A stranger's tone in an email, a notification at 2 a.m., a silence after you send a text. None of these can kill you, but your brain does not know that. It is still running software optimized for lions in the grass, not silence on a phone screen. Inside your skull sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It is your threat detector, and it works faster than conscious thought. The neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping exactly how this happens. He discovered that fear signals can travel a shortcut straight to the amygdala before your rational brain even processes what you are looking at. Your body can be flooded with fear before you consciously know why. This is not a flaw. This is the entire point. In a world with actual predators, half a second of hesitation was the difference between escaping and becoming dinner. Evolution did not care whether the reaction felt pleasant. It only cared whether it worked. But here is where it gets stranger. Your fear is not evenly distributed. You are not equally afraid of everything dangerous. You are afraid of specific things in a specific pattern, and that pattern is a fossil record hidden inside your nervous system. The psychologist Martin Seligman called this biological preparedness. He noticed something odd in his research decades ago. People develop intense phobias of snakes and spiders far more easily than they develop phobias of cars, electrical outlets, or guns. Statistically, cars are enormously more dangerous today. Almost nobody dies from a spider bite. And yet spiders trigger a primal terror that a speeding car rarely does. Why? Because your brain is not calibrated to modern statistics. It is calibrated to ancestral survival. Snakes and spiders were real, recurring threats for millions of years. Cars have existed for about a century. Evolution has not caught up. It may never fully catch up. This mismatch goes even deeper than phobias. It shapes your entire nervous system's baseline. The biologist Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress in wild baboons, pointed out something almost funny about modern anxiety. A zebra's stress response turns on when a lion appears and turns off the moment the lion is gone. The zebra does not lie awake replaying the chase. It does not worry about the next lion before it arrives. But you do. Your stress system evolved for short, intense bursts of danger, not for the slow drip stress of deadlines, bills, and unanswered messages. You are running an emergency system built for lions, and you are using it to survive Monday morning email. So when your heart races in that empty parking lot, it is not being irrational. It is being ancient. It is doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive long enough to have you. The problem is that it cannot tell the difference between a predator in the dark and a stranger walking the other direction. To your amygdala, both look the same. Both are unknown shape, low light, uncertain intent. And unknown shape, low light, uncertain intent used to mean one thing: death. This is also why you flinch at sudden movement in your peripheral vision, even when you consciously know nothing is there. Peripheral vision was your early warning system for ambush predators. A flicker at the edge of your sight once meant something was closing in from the side, exactly where you were weakest. Your brain still treats every flicker with that same urgency, whether it is a real threat or a curtain moving in the wind. You do not choose this reaction. It happens before choice is even possible. It explains why certain sounds cut through sleep instantly. A crying baby, a door creaking, a footstep that does not match the rhythm of anyone in your house. Your ancestors who slept through those sounds did not pass on their genes. The ones who startled awake did. You are descended from an unbroken line of people who woke up too easily, not too little. Every light sleeper alive today is the end result of thousands of generations where light sleep was the safer bet. And it explains something even more personal: why silence itself can feel unbearable. Silence removes information, and a brain built for survival does not experience missing information as neutral. It experiences it as a gap where danger could be hiding. Ancient humans in silence had to ask, is something out there, watching, waiting, deciding whether to move? That question never fully switched off. It just changed shape. Now it shows up as the unread message that feels ominous, the pause in a conversation that feels like judgment, the empty house that suddenly feels too quiet to relax in. Even your social fears trace back to the same root. Public speaking is consistently ranked as one of the most common fears in the modern world, often ahead of fears that seem far more logical, like heights or illness. That makes little sense until you remember what standing in front of a group actually meant for most of human history. Your ancestors lived in small bands of perhaps 30 to 50 people. Being rejected by that group was not an embarrassing moment you could shrug off. It could mean losing access to food, protection, and mates. In a world without strangers, being cast out by your only community was close to a death sentence. So your brain still treats being watched and judged by a crowd as a survival-level event, even when the crowd is a room of co-workers who will forget your presentation by lunch. This is why your palms sweat before a meeting that has nothing at stake beyond mild embarrassment. This is why your voice shakes reading a toast at a wedding. You are not afraid of the microphone. You are afraid of exile, echoing forward from an era when exile meant death. There is one more place this ancient wiring shows up, and it is probably in your pocket right now. Think about why you check your phone the moment it buzzes, even in the middle of something important. Think about why bad news online spreads faster than good news. Why your eyes are drawn to headlines about danger before headlines about safety. Your ancestors who paid close attention to threat information survived longer than the ones who ignored it. A rumor of a predator near the river was worth spreading fast, even if it turned out to be false. So today, an algorithm that has learned this same lesson feeds you outrage and danger and conflict because your 2-million-year-old alarm system clicks on it every single time. You are not weak-willed for doom scrolling. You are responding exactly the way a survival machine is supposed to respond to a constant stream of simulated threats. The parking lot moved into your pocket, and it never closes. None of this means you are broken. It means you are carrying a magnificent ancient survival machine into a world it was never designed for. The same circuitry that made a rustle in the grass feel urgent now makes an unanswered text feel urgent. The wiring did not change, only the inputs did. Your body is not malfunctioning when it reacts this way. It is simply loyal to a world that no longer exists. Understanding this will not stop your amygdala from firing, but it can change what you do with the alarm when it goes off. The next time your chest tightens over something that cannot actually hurt you, you can recognize the signal for what it is, not proof of danger, just an old, loyal system, still scanning the tall grass for a predator that left 10,000 years ago. You can thank it for trying to protect you, and then choose, consciously, whether the threat is real. This is, in a strange way, one of the most human things about being human. You are the only species that can catch its own alarm system in the act. A zebra cannot ask itself why its heart is racing. You can. You can notice the flinch, trace it back across 2 million years, and understand exactly where it came from. That awareness is new. It is maybe only a few thousand years old, a flicker compared to the vast stretch of time that built the fear itself. But it is enough to change how you respond, even if it cannot switch the system off. So the next time you feel that jolt of fear over nothing, in a parking lot, in a silence, in a notification, remember this. You are not overreacting. You are 10,000 generations of survivors, all speaking through you at once, still trying to keep you alive in a world that no longer needs them to. Nothing is hunting you tonight, but somewhere deep in your skull, a small, ancient part of you is still checking the shadows just in case.